Okay, once again, it looks like we're recording. And back out here in the lodge. I'm going to do another article that has been submitted to MUFON. And I think they're probably going to publish this at some point. And so instead of just reading the whole thing, I'll comment on it a bunch so that the one thing that you'll get exactly as in the article will be the footnotes. And I'll just kind of comment about everything else. And I hope you find it interesting. This one is called Reality is Out There, Neo. It's about what mankind really is. And so, Reality is Out There, Neo, by me, Grant House. It's been resubmitted to MUFON here in the last month or so. A couple of months, I guess. And I wrote a summary of it. The summary goes like this. The reality of man is his thought. And now that's not my opinion, that's from the footnotes. The cover-up, which is the UFO cover-up that everybody bandies about all the time, is basically hiding the true nature of the universe from all the people who live in it. That's a big deal. It places ufology in a heroic struggle to help mankind ask better questions, encourage truthfulness, and gain faith in itself so we can let go of the old isms and achieve a better reality for mankind and humans too. There's a subtle distinction there not to be missed. Early in my research, and here we go, I encountered this statement, quote, "The reality of man is his thought, not his material body." I just supposed that it meant to be a good person, think good thoughts. And I'm sure it does mean that. Simple. However, the phrase refused to be so easily dismissed. For instance, something that affects our thoughts about reality is the so-called cover-up. You know the one I mean. Its existence becomes more obvious as the truth about high strangeness, thanks partially to the U.S. Navy, comes out, and people feel more confident about sharing their experiences and discoveries. However, the cover-up is more than just one person saying, "I saw a UFO," and other people saying, "Oh, no, you didn't." It's some people with relatively more power, knowingly, to whatever extent, lying about the true nature of the universe to all who live in it with the intent to keep things, like reality and thoughts, from changing for the better for all people. When you look at it like that, it's a big deal. Looking for a good quotation about lying, I found this. Quote, and this is a long quotation, by the way, "At the bottom of their hearts, the great masses of the people are more likely to be poisoned than to be consciously and deliberately bad. In the primitive simplicity of their minds, they are more easily victimized by a large rather than a small lie. Since they sometimes tell petty lies themselves, but would be ashamed to tell big ones. An untruth of that sort would never come into their heads, and they cannot believe that others would indulge in so vast an impudence as gross distortion. Even after being enlightened, they will long continue to doubt and waver, and will still believe there must be some truth behind it somewhere. For this reason, some of even the boldest lie is sure to stick, a fact which all great liars and liar societies in this world know only too well and make base use of." Unquote. Now that's not my opinion. That's an insight into what big lies do and how they work. And this big lie that we're talking about is the cover-up here. That insight into big lies is from Adolf Hitler. And he said that in his book, Mein Kampf. Now, I read that to you not because I like Adolf Hitler. I don't agree with anything the man did or wanted to do, or anything that his followers may still want to do today. But this religion that I am researching also says truth from whatever source is still truth. So when it comes to talking about this big lie, I think he hit the nail on the head there. Okay, continuing on with what's in the paper. Since it takes a terrible evil to try to victimize all the people with a huge lie about the very nature of the universe, our struggle against the cover-up becomes one of heroic proportions. Well, I'm always up for a good heroic struggle, aren't you? Oh, I hope so. History shows that even our lesser negative thoughts about reality count. For instance, if we, the people, think the money is no good, there's a run on the banks. Think United States of America, 1929. If we think Mars is invading, people jump out of windows. See the War of the Worlds, radio broadcast, 1938. To make war, we demonize the enemy. And that is every war you've ever heard of. Because killing someone's beloved family member would be rude. In science, new ideas are often ridiculed to prevent the acceptance of new realities. If we all begin to think we have friends among the star people, then our earthly conflicts may begin to seem silly, which is almost what President Ronald Reagan surmised that day at the UN. Because the reality of man is his thought, not his material body. I began to wonder if the mystical writings I'm researching shed any light on the cover-up, and it turns out they do. Among the dusty shelves of my favorite little-known mountainside library, I found this, quote, "Every system, short of the unification of the human race, has been tried, repeatedly tried, and found wanting. The light of men is justice. Quench it not with the contrary winds of oppression and tyranny. The purpose of justice is the appearance of unity among men." Unquote. In truthfulness, unity and justice, we discover the opposite of lie, divide, and conquer, do we not? The struggle between good and evil, evil being the word live spelled backwards, is also the struggle between good and bad thoughts. Reality versus someone else's agenda. Much of our world and our reaction to it really exists between our ears, in our thoughts. So anyone afraid of real change must control the territory between the ears, yours and mine, by keeping everyone distracted with gossip, bickering, and conflict. And you, my reader, would know that because the second I lose your attention, you are going to look at your phone. Right? If thoughts create reality, what thoughts should we encourage to help end the cover-up? Well, turns out, after all, one should think good thoughts for a good reality. Quote, "The foundation of progress and real prosperity in the human world is reality. For reality is the divine standard and the bestowal of God. Reality is reasonableness, and reasonableness is ever conducive to the honorable station of man. Reality is the cause of illumination of mankind. Reality is love. ever working for the welfare of mankind. Reality is the bond which conjoins hearts. This ever uplifts man toward higher stages of progress and attainment. Reality is the unity of mankind, conferring everlasting life. Reality is perfect equality, the foundation of agreement between the nations, the first step towards international peace. Unquote. These writings also say, next quote, out of all the realities in existence, he, capital H on he, has chosen the reality of man and has honored it with intellect and wisdom, the two most luminous lights in either world. Through the agency of this great endowment, he has in every epoch cast on the mirror of creation new and wonderful configurations. Unquote. If everyone were questioning everything, that would not be good for the cover-up. When questions come up, answers may be found, confidence may be gained, and faith in ourselves may arise. We can't have that now, can we? So why does the cover-up work? Fear of the unknown is my guess. All the man-made isms have gotten us to this Eden we enjoy today. Most people allow the cover-up to protect what remains of the various isms from fear of what lies ahead. Disclosure, they feel, carries too many risks, so they let misinformation persist. Opinions vary, and mine matters least. But if we follow the thread of my research, we learn from it the following. Mankind includes everyone that is self-aware and can reason in the abstract regardless of what their material body looks like. Quote, man, unquote, predates Earth, though the Homo sapiens branch may not. And for more about that, you can look up the article, Who in the Universe is Man? And I cover that in a lot more detail. The universe is infinite and has always existed, allowing ample time for advanced civilizations beyond number. And that is covered in more detail in the article entitled, It's About Time. Mankind has the ability to know and love God. Has the ability to. But thanks to free will, some do and some don't. E.T. is here to witness humanity's coming of age. And for that, you can look in Why Hasn't E.T. Left Already? The MUFON Journal of February 2022. And that is what comes next. What does coming of age mean? Quote, these fruitless strifes, these ruinous wars shall pass away, and the most great peace shall come. Unquote. This peace was actually offered to the world by the messenger who brought the writings of my research, and they indicate it would have occurred quickly, except the offer was rejected in favor of what was known and to maintain the isms rampant at that time, sort of like now. So how do we overcome fear of the unknown? Same way we got our first kiss, danced our first dance, or played the first gig. Quote, as ye have faith, so shall your powers and blessings be, unquote. That may sound too simple, but our reality is our thought, it says, and in practice, truthfulness, unity, and peace are not that simple. The more faith in ourselves, mankind, humans too, and all things healthy and good, the sooner it may all arrive. We may be like the man clinging to a rope, suspended in a dark room, afraid to let go, because he doesn't know the floor is only inches below his feet. In my opinion, my humble opinion, based on all of my research to this point, the reality which the ufology community as a whole is trying to deliver to the thought patterns of human civilization is simply this. Wake up, Neo. The Matrix has you. And that's the end of the article. And then here are the footnotes for this article, right here, in case anybody wants a screenshot to go look. And that is the last page of that article. Now, if you go to some of the other episodes on this YouTube channel, the thing about the reality of man is that this reality of man is his thought, and the unity of mankind is what it's talking about all the time. But mankind is not necessarily synonymous with Homo sapiens, you and me. Mankind, this says, the research says, is any self-aware, intelligent being, regardless what they look like. And that is backed up by another quotation in these writings, which I have quoted verbatim in several other articles, is that the kingdoms, there are only 4 kingdoms of physical creation. 4. Mineral, vegetable, animal, and man. That's it. So you can subcategorize these things different way, but if it has a mind, a rational, intelligent mind able to reason in the abstract, and that reasoning in the abstract gives it the ability to know and love God, because God is an abstract idea, well then that being is in the kingdom of man with you and me. And the writings in this particular group of writings is very precise in their use of the English language. And so if you encounter something with a sense of humor or that can talk to you, don't be scared. It's in the kingdom of mankind, just like you are. So I think that's it for now, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And please feel free to browse through the other episodes on the channel. And I should be doing more now that I've got my software worked out. I'm doing a little better with it than I was 8 months ago, and they've updated it. It works really good. So I hope I see you soon. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you later.